my name is Georgia Nickerson. I am the current Miss Intercontinental England, and today I'll be telling you the truth about this beauty queen.
Welcome to Pageant Land, the UK's premier podcast for all things pageantry, with your host Jessica Barkley. Here you'll find guest experts, past, present and future queens, plus my own personal insights into what it's like to follow your pageantry dreams. So whether you're hitting the stage for the first time, looking to up your game, or even after some inspiration to follow your own dreams, I hope you will find something here for you. I'll ask the questions you're too embarrassed to and get real about the highs and lows of pageantry. If you enjoy this episode, please give us a share on social and pop me a review on iTunes. Now strap on those heels and let's get into it because we have a lot to cover.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am feeling the guilt of making everyone stay inside on this beautiful sunny day. Not that we can go to the beach or anything, but at least stick your head out of the sunshine. But I guess I'm helping to protect everyone's skin by making them stay inside. But let's get into our questions. How long have you been competing in pageants?
So I've been competing for the past 5 years, so since 2015 now, my first pageant being Miss Teen Great Britain and my last being Miss Intercontinental.
And what's your favourite part of competing?
My favourite part of competing for me would be the empowerment we get from it. I find pageants so empowering. What is better than standing on that stage and having all women cheer you, no matter what size, shape, background or culture you're from? I just believe for me, this is one of the best feelings in the world.
Oh, I love that. I did an interview where I was a guest, which felt a bit weird. I always end up trying to interview the person that's trying to interview me. And he asked me about the swimwear round, and it wasn't someone that had any knowledge about pageants and things. He said, obviously, pageants are known for this controversial swimwear round, and got chatting to him about it. And he said at the end, well, now I kind of see the swimwear round's much more for the contestant than anyone else.
Yeah, 100%.
For me, by far the most empowering round is always going to be swimwear. I never loved my body until I got on stage in a bikini, which sounds really weird, and backwards, but it's how it works, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And how would you describe your onstage style?
I'd like to think my onstage style is quite sassy but elegant where it needs to be, especially in the different rounds. I like to think that they're quite unique in the categories and I bring that forward.
And how would you describe your personal offstage clothing style? So how do you dress day to day when you're not doing pageants?
I'm very girly, so I'm quite classic but also glamorous. I even match my nail polish to what outfits I'm wearing. So yeah, I'm always up to date on new trends.
Oh, see, I'm definitely missing. My nails are a state at the moment. And luckily for Galaxy, I'd had this really neutral, I'd had acrylics and shellac put on in a literally nude, neutral colour. So they lasted for so long and nothing's chipped, but the growth is literally half of my nail is grown out. I had to clip them all down because they were talons. And then the sun's come out and that makes everything grow faster. I'm everyone's where were you? Who were you going to see? What family and friends do you want to see first after lockdown? And I'm the beautician and the gym.
Yeah, my nail person.
My nails. Someone needs to sort my nails and my eyelashes out.
I think everyone's in the same boat. Hairdressers, the lot.
Oh, first one. I probably didn't get my hair cut about every 4 months, and I had it done again not long before Galaxy. So I was kind of Galaxy prepared me for lockdown.
Yeah, you're ready for it.
I'm ready. Number 5, what is your morning routine like? And I think we're kind of leaning more towards the pre-lockdown. So what would your normal morning routine be like?
Yeah, lockdown routine is not good. My normal, well, any routine really is, I always have a good skincare routine I adhere to all the time. I used to have really bad acne prone skin, so it sort of forced me to keep my healthy skin basically. But one important thing for me that I do every morning is I make my bed no matter what, because I feel like this is my first task complete, so no matter what happens through the day, you've got something accomplished and you've done something good.
I love that. Like we open out and air our bed, and I go for my run, and then when I come back I finish making it. But even just opening it out, it has to be neat and tidy and presentable.
I have to make it nice.
Yeah, so there's a whole book actually. It's really good. It's not that long, and it's on Audible. Cool. It's literally called something like "Make Your Bed" or "Why We Make Our Beds," and it is. I mean, this guy was like very high up in the American military in some way, like a Navy SEAL or something like that, something really difficult within the US military, that wrote this book about the bed making, why they do it in there. And I always did it because, I think it was my grandma said, only prostitutes don't make their beds. Which as a kid, like, you being told that,
How did you?
it was like stuck in my head that people will think that I'm if I don't make my bed,
That will happen. They'll think I'm stupid.
so it's funny the things that stick with us.
Oh my god.
Number 6, how do you like to stay healthy?
I have a good balanced diet, and that does include all sweets and chocolate things, more so in the lockdown than anything else. But I think it's important to keep your mind healthy as well. So I socialise with my family and friends. Even now, I'm always on FaceTime or messaging or calling. And I also write a reflection diary. So I write what happened through the day, and I can look back and see. It's just for peace of mind, really, see what goals I want to achieve and if I'm getting there, that sort of thing.
I think we really underestimate the power of things like journaling, and I'm really dyslexic, so I always found the writing side of things really hard work. And I've got friends that do morning pages, which is where you literally write 3 full pages first thing in the morning. And I'm like, that sounds stressful to me. Like that, if I started my day like that, I would not have good days. They would not. No.
It's like an end of the day thing for me, just like a few little notes, what's happened.
And the other one I love, there's one called 5-Minute Journal, which has a little morning section, a little afternoon section, but they're prompts. So for me, like, writing fluidly for 3 pages, too stressful, but then you've got like a little bit. And I think there's so many different journaling ways, like you like to do it at the end of the day. I quite like having a little writing thing at first thing in the morning. It's very quick. But it's finding the one that works for you, and that, yeah, you're not going to be horrified at. Like, some of them horrify me. Like, I'm just like, not handle that. I see how it can work for other people, but yeah, find like the one that works for you really well. And number 7, what's the biggest lesson you've learned from pageantry?
For me, I think it's just I've learned to be myself and be okay with that, and know that I'm different. I just always think you should just be yourself, really. And I always say, if you can believe, you can achieve. So it doesn't matter how different you are. I think that's what makes us pageantry so brilliant, is that every girl is so different, and that's why the interview stage of pageantry is so important, I think, because you get to meet that girl and see how different they are to each contestant.
I just wish pageant interviews were longer. I mean, the Galaxy one is the one I've done a lot. It's like 3 minutes. 3 minutes is not long enough for me.
Continental was like 2.
And
I feel like I talk really fast because you want to get so much across, but then it's quite overpowering for the judges listening. So it's quite a hard one. And
sometimes it just sort of takes you like even like a question or so to get into your groove, to feel like, because it's basically what in the real world, in the normal world, would be seen as boasting. But if you don't go in and sing the praises of all the stuff you've done, then they're not going to know. And it's really hard, particularly when I post everything on social media pretty much, like my entire life. I will spiel out over social media for one reason or another. And I sometimes forget that the judges haven't seen all of that. Or not,
Yeah.
they can't take that, if even if they have, they can't take that into the judging room. Like, you need to be able to like stand up and shout about all the amazing stuff you've done, otherwise it's just not going to count.
That's it.
And what's the biggest goal you would like to achieve in your lifetime? This doesn't have to be a pageantry goal, so just a biggest goal in general.
So my biggest goal was to be crowned Miss Intercontinental England and to represent England at Miss Intercontinental. And I did this, I did myself really proud there. I placed top 20, I came top 6 Europe, so that was a goal complete for me. However, I do work as a model, so my long-term goal, I'd love to be promoted on a big campaign. I just feel like my life would be complete if that was to happen.
Amazing. What are the 3 words that your friends and family would use to describe you?
Yeah, I always say what I'd like to think they'd say, but they probably say different. I'd probably say that they'd say I'm compassionate, I'm honest, and I'm motivated. I
think you'd be surprised. Like, I've had this asked for interviews before, and I've got no idea, so I've put it on social media, and actually the words that people come back with so often are the words that we like them to see, because that's what we're putting out into the world. So don't underestimate yourself. I imagine they'd probably say the same things.
So yeah, like, come on, say it properly. What do you think?
Really think. What's your favourite post-pageant treat meal?
After every pageant, I always get a McDonald's in the hotel room.
No!
With us some of the queens, and I have to. It's just like, gotta have it. Especially because it's really so late, so you want to order something because you're starving. And
oh, disappoint. No, like, who do you? I can't stand McDonald's. Can't stand
really?
I can't stand the smell. I can't go in those. Literally, I feel like my skin clogs up walking past one. And I always think you've got to ask yourself, how do they make it so cheap? Like, that should not be that cheap. There's something wrong for the food to be that cheap. I'd much rather have chocolate. I'm always a go-to, like, nothing. I'll have a whole plate of chocolate instead.
Yeah, I have that as well.
It's like, and it's not a takeaway thing, but yes, I don't know what it is about McDonald's. I just can't. And Burger King, I put Burger King in the same, like, I can't handle the smell of those places.
Good.
If you could be remembered for just one thing as a title holder, what would you want it to be?
I've always said my aim as Miss Intercontinental England is to just inspire others to chase their dreams as I have. So even if that meant that I helped one girl just make that leap into the direction she wanted to go, not necessarily in pageantry, but in anything they wanted to do. And I had a few girls actually message me saying like I inspired them to apply for Intercontinental or apply for a job, and that means a lot to me.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, I've lost my place on my list now. You wouldn't believe that I wrote this list and have been doing this list for so long. How would you like to make the world a better place?
For me, I like to help contribute. Obviously, everyone does, but I just do it by doing little things. So just driving less, walk where you can, conserve water, that sort of thing. But as well as respecting the planet, you should respect other people. So just having manners or learning someone's culture and just educating yourself on people's backgrounds, I think can just help the place be better.
I'm really fascinated about the reasons behind different cultures in different countries. I'm not a natural traveller. Like, some people love travelling. I'll enjoy it when it happens, but I don't actively pursue travel.
Okay.
But I do, yeah, I love the different cultures and
When you go
why is that here?
experience that, and I think that's important. Yeah.
I think some of that is because so many cultures come back to their religion, and I'm really fascinated by religion. I'm Church of England Christian, but I'm also fascinated by everyone else's religions, because I know how much awesomeness Christianity has brought me, and so I know that there must be some awesomeness that their religions brought them, and that connects so well into culture of certain countries that so I find the whole ball of it quite fascinating. If you could change one thing about the pageant industry in the UK, what would it be?
I would change, it's sort of outside pageantry, but people's perceptions, the little education that they have on them, just educate them that this is a sisterhood, and we continuously support these charities and we raise this money, and it's not as vain as people see it as, and it is something amazing. And I just love to change the perceptions that some people do still have towards pageants.
Yeah. Oh no, that's a brilliant one. How would you like to make? Oh no. How would you like to make the world a better place? I've done that one. I've done them in the wrong order. That's terrible. How would you like to make the world a better place? We've done. We have done that one. I'm now losing my marbles. What are you most looking at? What did you most look forward to about internationals?
So internationals was December last year for me. And I think the most exciting thing for me was I was going to Egypt and I was exploring this country with my sister queens, and along with 77 other amazing girls. So it was just so exciting, and I just couldn't wait to do it. And it was a dream to just represent England there. And the organisation did so many amazing things with us. We were out there for, I think, just over 3 weeks. So we were a long time there. And it was just incredible, and the system was just brilliant, and it's something I'm always going to remember. And I do really urge people to go for Intercontinental, because it's one of them prestigious pageants and it's just insane.
Oh, amazing. And last but not least, how do we find you on social media and online?
So I don't have a lot of social media. I know loads of girls have got loads of different pages and stuff. I just have Instagram, so just Georgia Nickerson on Instagram, Facebook as well, the same, and you can also find my model page through Facebook as well.
I think it's good to limit it down. I don't know how people keep track of all their social media.
I can't do it. Just Facebook, Instagram, done.
I'm like Facebook and Instagram, and then I have multiple pages on both for like the different work, and personal, and the pageant land, and I'm like, that's enough. Like I tried to add TikTok on, but it didn't.
I can't get on with it.
There's so much. I love watching other people's. I
love watching them. Yeah. They're great to watch.
Definitely lost a lot of my life watching.
Me too. I watch all the dances and think I'd love to be able to do that.
I'm like, I had like a funny thing. I was going to duet with loads of them, but without practicing and see how they worked. But the first one I did was like this, and I was like, actually, they're all going to look like the same thing. Let's not bother with this one. But I did one where I tried to duet with junior Miss Galaxy UK, Ellie, and yeah, it was like the ding 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 one, and yeah, no, it's really bad.
I just missed.
Oh, thank you so much for joining me. I'll let you go and enjoy a bit more of the sunny afternoon that we've got going on, and yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me today. I value and appreciate your time so much. It's wonderful you've given some of it to this episode. Please rock on over to our Facebook or Instagram and share your thoughts. And I would love you to give this episode a share while you're there. For any specific links, check the show notes or rock on over to our website, pageantlandpodcast.com, for more information about the podcast or how you can be a guest on a future episode. Have an amazing day, and remember, you sparkle your brightest when you're being yourself. See you soon.